What is going on, guys? In today's video we're going to be going over some of the attachments that aren't doing exactly what they say they're supposed to be doing whenever they got integrated from Black Ops Cold War into Warzone. Specifically talking about that last barrel that you unlocked for the assault rifles that's supposed to increase your damage. As you can see here in the AK-47, for example, the 20-inch Spetsnaz RPK barrel is supposed to increase your damage, increase your effective damage range, and increase your bullet velocity at the cost of max starting ammo, vertical recoil control, and horizontal recoil control. This is true in case in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, but not necessarily true in Warzone. Especially, you can tell right away that the base damage probably isn't going to be increased, as well as the max starting ammo, because you don't really start with ammo, and you guys get the point. And then we're also going to be testing this again with the 13.5-inch Task Force barrel on the XM4. Same thing here, supposed to increase your damage, effective damage range, bullet velocity at the cost of max starting ammo, and then your vertical and horizontal recoil control. So let's kind of take a look at what I found. The way I did this was I made these classes in the Warzone private match, but because you can't actually start this match without 23 players, I then had to go down and to a battle royale practice, get a loadout, and then test the guns from there on the bots at different ranges. So this is a table of my findings. You can see on this left column here, we have the AK-47, the XM4, and then with and without that barrel that's supposed to increase the damage. So you can see that the base damage on the upper chest was not changed at all with this barrel. However, the damage range, there does seem to be some improvements here, going from 30 to 35 on the AK-47 and 25 to 80 on the XM4. I know that might sound like a big deal, but whenever you actually look at the time to kill graph, you can see that with the XM4, this yellow line right here, by the way, the time to kill is in reverse order, so that whenever it goes down, it gets worse, and it's easier to see which weapons are better because you just look at see which one is above them. But anyway, whenever you look at the XM4, what it would do is it would just kind of eliminate this small drop off here, but if you would skate this straight along using that barrel or any of the other effective damage range barrels, it becomes more in line with the other assault rifles, so it's not really something that's going to make this gun overpowered. With that being said, also the M4 with its damage range extender, it goes to 55 meters, like I said before, making that the M4 being still slightly better than the XM4 by a little bit. But anyway, let's go back at the stats on the attachments. Looking at the range damage here, this is going to be what the damage would be at outside of this extended range here, and as you can see, it's still 28. So 28 for the XM4 and 38 for the AK-47. Again, no damage improvement. As far as bullet velocity goes, as far as from what I could tell, there was no difference here. I think that this difference here could be from a slight rounding error with the frames, but right here I got the exact same number. So what does that mean as far as what barrel you should use? We have to also look at the recoil patterns on these guns. If that extra barrel actually does hurt the recoil like it said it would, or is this just something like the other typical longer barrels in Modern Warfare already, where you just get kind of more boosts with an ADS downgrade or something like that. So here we see a base XM4. Let me go ahead and make this full screen so it's easier to see. Aimed in at about that bottom corner, and it goes up. And we'll show this again just so you guys can see it again a little bit better. Kind of pay attention where we're aiming. We're aiming right here at this bottom line where these 4 little layers are being separated. Aim in, it shoots, and it ends kind of right up here. Moving forward, this is the XM4 with the Task Force barrel. Aiming at the same spot, and it does appear to go a little bit higher and a little bit farther to the right. We will re-show that once again here. It does also seem to kick up faster than the other barrel as well. So kind of inconclusive, but I could see a slight recoil increase, especially kind of like the feel of the gun whenever I was testing this. And then here we have the AK-47 with no barrel attachment. Aiming the same spot, you see where it goes. It has that weird dip that the AK-47 has, and then one shot barely above the wall. And then right here, you're going to be able to see the AK-47 with that longer barrel that's supposed to add damage that we concluded does not add damage. Aiming around the same spot. And it looks like a few more shots went above the wall. Kind of inconclusive, but I think that there's a slight recoil nerf on adding that extra barrel that's supposed to increase the damage. It looks like that the recoil is slightly worse on both of these guns, but not by very much. With all that being said, until there is kind of like a patch notes or a change with kind of what they did with the last suppressor unlock, where they made it more like the monolithic suppressor, and you actually saw that, you know, in the description it does say what the monolithic suppressor does, so you can expect that. I would expect a similar change here, and until we get that change, I would advise just using this VDV reinforced barrel for the AK-47, which for sure gives you effective damage range boost and a bullet velocity boost at the expense of sprint movement speed and aim walking movement speed, which is kind of what we saw with ADS on the Modern Warfare barrels. And then as far as the XM4 goes, I would recommend using the 13.5-inch reinforced heavy barrel versus the Task Force. Similarly, just because until we get kind of an update from Infinity War Activision about this barrel and why it's kind of not doing what's supposed to say it's doing, I would just kind of stay away from it, especially because we're pretty confident that this one does work with effective damage range and bullet velocity as it did in Black Ops Cold War. But that kind of concludes this shorter video today. I hope you guys learned something. I hope this helped you set up your gunsmiths better for the assault rifles. If it did help, give the video a like. And if you want to find your way back to my channel, I do a lot of videos like this, including others where I do kind of an in-depth analysis of all the guns. Right now I'm working on the assault rifles in terms of time to kill, recoil patterns, and all the stats of those. I recommend that you check those videos out too. And I recommend that you subscribe to my channel just so that you can find your way back to my channel easier. But with all that being said, I hope you guys all have a great day.